It was the middle of the night on August 31st, 2023, in Northport, Florida. A woman was pounding on her neighbor's door, screaming, "I need help."
Tell the jury what you heard.
Well, I heard the Ring doorbell at first.
Okay.
So
And after you heard that doorbell, what did you hear next?
I heard banging and screaming for help. I need help, I need help.
Police arrived at the Tower family home. They found Jennifer and Robbie Tower lying face down, head to head, covered in blood. Their 24-year-old adoptive son, Dima, was outside with blood on his clothes, loading things into his car. When officers told him to stop, he got behind the wheel and drove off. Over the next 8 hours, police would chase him across county lines, and in the trial that followed, a jury would have to answer one question. Did Dima Tower just snap, or did he know exactly what he was doing? Dima Tower came to America in 2016 at the age of 14, adopted from Ukraine by Jennifer and Robbie Tower. During the trial, he testified that he spoke no English when he arrived. He told the court his biological mother died when he was somewhere between 6 and 8 years old, and that he spent the years after in orphanages and foster care until Towers took him in. They gave him a home and a new life in America, but the years that followed weren't easy. In 2018, police were called to the house after Dima allegedly pushed Jennifer. A year later, Robbie told officers he wanted Dima removed from the home. He had admitted he slept with his bedroom door locked, out of fear. By 2023, this household had a long history of conflict, and on the night of August 31st, that history came to an end. It started while Jennifer and Robbie were asleep. According to prosecutors, Dima walked into the kitchen, grabbed a steak knife, and went into his parents' bedroom. He started stabbing his father while he lay in bed. At some point during the attack, he lost the knife. So Dima went back to the kitchen, grabbed a second knife, and kept going. Robbie Tower suffered 68 stab wounds to his face, neck, back, scalp, and shoulders. The medical examiner testified that he bled out from the wounds to his neck and major arteries. Jennifer woke up during the attack. She tried to protect her husband, then ran out of the house and across to a neighbor's door, screaming for help. But Dima caught up with her. He forced her back inside, made her sit down on the couch and listen to his rantings. Then he stabbed her 79 times. She died from wounds to her face and neck. When police arrived at the scene, Dima was outside, covered in blood, loading items into his car. Officers ordered him to stop. He didn't. He led police on a chase across county lines. Deputies deployed stop sticks to disable his car, but Dima jumped out and disappeared into the woods. For 8 hours, no one knew where he was. The next morning, a gas station manager named Kay Rosas noticed a man at her Shell station. He was dirty, dazed, with blood and dirt still on his hands. When she greeted him, he didn't respond. She called the police. Officers found Dima behind the station, still wearing the same blood-stained clothes from the night before. This time he didn't run. He got on the ground and was taken into custody. At trial, the jury heard detailed forensic testimony. Crime scene technicians described the blood trail that stretched from the master bedroom through the kitchen and into the living room. They showed photographs, diagrams, and footprints left in blood. DNA analysts testified that blood found on the knives matched Robbie Tower. Dima's DNA was on the handle of one of them. The odds of that DNA belonging to anyone else? Less than 1 in 700 billion. The medical examiner walked the jury through both autopsies. 68 wounds on Robbie, 79 on Jennifer. Both victims were found lying face down. And then there were Dima's own words. When detectives asked him what happened that night, he gave them one-word answer: rage. Prosecutor Lyanna Whipple laid out the state's case. Dima attacked his parents while they slept. He chose a knife from the kitchen. When he lost it, he got another one. When his mother escaped, he dragged her back inside and killed her on the couch. This wasn't a breakdown, the prosecution argued. This was premeditated murder. Defense attorney Mark Gilman painted a different picture. He talked about Dima's childhood, the orphanages, the foster care, and arriving in America as a teenager who couldn't speak the language. He asked the jury to consider manslaughter, not murder. During his opening statement, Dima broke down crying so hard that the court had to pause.
Let's continue for a moment. Let's see if we can continue.
Sure.
Go ahead, Mr. Gilman.
So the decision that you collectively as a group and individually will have to come to is whether or not Mr. Tower has the ability to fully form the...
It's difficult for, I think,
Sure.
Let's take a short break.
Dima testified in his own defense. He admitted everything, stabbing both parents, forcing his mother back into the house, and killing her on the couch. But he said he wasn't thinking, that he didn't plan it, that he came from a harsh environment, and that some people don't know how to be parents. Prosecutors pushed back. They asked him what was going through his mind when he grabbed that knife and walked into his parents' dark bedroom.
What were you thinking about between the time you took that sharp knife, walked into your parents' bedroom, and started to stab your father in the dark?
I wasn't thinking anything.
You weren't thinking anything.
What is there to think?
I don't know.
At one point, he became so emotional that the judge had to send the jury out of the courtroom.
Do you need a moment, Mr. Tower?
Remember the jurors, let's take a break. Leave your notepads face down.
The prosecution laid out the facts one more time. 2 knives, 147 stab wounds between both victims, a blood trail through the house, signs of cleanup, an 8-hour chase, and Dima's own confession. They reminded the jury what he told detectives. Rage. And that rage, they argued, existed before he ever picked up the knife. The defense asked for compassion. They urged the jury to consider his trauma, his past, his mental state. They pushed for manslaughter. The prosecution's rebuttal was blunt. The law applies to everyone. A difficult childhood doesn't excuse what he did. The case went to the jury. The jury came back with their decision, guilty on all counts. 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of fleeing from police.
The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2, the victim, Robbie Tower. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged.
Immediately after, the family of Jennifer and Robbie Tower gave victim impact statements. They spoke about who Jennifer and Robbie were and about the hole that's been left behind. The judge sentenced Dima Tower to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 5 years for fleeing. He will die in prison.
I will sentence you to life in prison. You will serve the rest of your life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Dima Tower was adopted from Ukraine at 14. 8 years later, he killed the 2 people who took him in. A jury heard his trauma. They also heard the evidence. 2 knives, 147 stab wounds, and his own confession. They chose first-degree murder. If you want to learn more about this and other high-profile court cases, download the Docket Watch app. Track ongoing trials, get notifications when verdicts drop, and never miss an important development. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more cases like this and comment below which trial we should cover next.